President Trump is marking 6 months in his second term. So far, border crossings are at a historic low, and he signed the big, beautiful bill and its massive tax cuts into law. Around the globe, his tariff plan has brought in over $100 billion in revenue, and his administration has secured the release of American hostages and prisoners being held in places like Gaza, Russia, and Venezuela. Finally, his DOGE has saved Americans an estimated $190 billion. Here to discuss it, Fox News contributor Mary Katharine Ham. Mary Katharine, I mean, 6 months, even just one of those things would be notable.
Yeah, I would also add the bombing of the Fordow facility in Iran. I mean, these are incredible things happening. The One Big Beautiful Bill was passed by Congress with a small margin before a deadline. Like, they didn't actually have to extend those tax rates until December of this year, and they did it 6 months early, which is something that has not happened, like, I don't know, in my lifetime, at least not in recent memory. So it has been a very active time. The executive orders are very important. Getting men out of women's sports is a huge shift in how we were doing things, and I do want to commend him for the plastic straws. Bring them back, baby.
Yeah, I tell you, when I was reading that news headline here, it's just that plastic straws affects everybody. But, you know, it also affects people at places like the gas prices. The gas prices, $3.14 per gallon, 10% decrease from last year. Retail sales increasing a little bit. Inflation still under 3%. International financial agreements, $2 trillion investment. President Trump talks about it all the time. And of course, the tariffs, $100 billion in duty collections. So say what you will about those tariffs, it's bringing in revenue. These are things that affect Americans' everyday lives.
Yeah, and I think at times I've been concerned about the tariffs and will probably continue to be about uncertainty and exactly what the plan is and how that works for businesses. However, the numbers have been really quite good. Inflation has been ticking down. That's what matters to people. If they don't continue to see improvement, obviously that will matter in the coming year. But I do think that this has been a pretty good 6 months and a phenomenal 6 months when you talk about actual accomplishments he's putting on paper.
Okay, meanwhile, the Democrats, Mary Katharine Ham, are apparently leaderless. They don't have a message. They're endorsing a self-avowed socialist for mayor, Zohran Mamdani, here in New York. And the New York Times says that the DNC is going to do an audit. You see here the headline, the autopsy is described as avoiding the likeliest cause of death. In it, they write, the audit, which the committee is calling an after-action review, is expected to avoid the questions of whether former President Biden should have run for re-election in the first place, whether he should have exited the race earlier than he did, and whether former Vice President Kamala Harris was the right choice to replace him. According to the people briefed on the process so far, the article goes on to compare this to going to a steakhouse to do a review and reviewing the salad. What do you make of this?
Yeah, Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss the point, and I don't think they're tackling this very well. They're sort of brushing aside the idea that the brand is in a gutter for a reason. They ran an incompetent and incapacitated executive, didn't do a primary because they didn't realize that was going to be a problem until too late, because they lied to everyone about it, even though we could all see what was going on with our own eyes. They replaced him with his vice president, who they had already picked knowing she wasn't very popular or capable. She goes out there, and now they're like, you know what was the problem? The PAC. Yeah. The PAC spent the wrong money in the wrong places. That wasn't the problem, guys. And if you're not tackling what the actual problem was, you're not going to actually fix it. The other issue is that they felt out of touch, right? They felt out of touch maybe because they had a PAC that spent $560 million in just a couple of weeks.
Hard truths I'm not sure they're ready to confront. After-action reports have like 4 parts. What was the goal? What actually happened? Why did it happen? And how will we do it differently? I'm not sure how they get to any of that with the way they're trying to dive into it now. Mary Katharine Ham, thank you very much for getting up early. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Have a good one.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.